said that we're having a victory march, but we're starting over here to show that there's still work to be done. The city is still not doing their job with getting people into housing. Now, I know the city of Chicago has their own numbers on homelessness. They say that there's only 5,000 homeless people in a city of 3 million people, but we know that that's not the case. CPS has counted just among homeless people under 18 that there's over 18,000 homeless students in the Chicago Public School system. So we know the city of Chicago's numbers are not right on this. Okay, the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless estimated that the real numbers are more around 120,000. So we have 120,000 homeless people, and we have less than 3,000 emergency shelter beds in Chicago. It should be no surprise that there are people sleeping outside. Okay, the real phenomenon is that there isn't thousands of people under these viaducts. The resources are not there. So when we have less than 3,000 homeless shelter beds, the city can't even come up with a couple 100,000 to keep this one open. We need more shelter beds. We don't need less. They should be doing the exact opposite of what they've been doing. And the emergency shelter beds have been going down every year. So this is a backwards policy. And we showed them that we can fight, that we can win. And Alderman can take as much credit as he wants. But the people in this community, the people in the neighborhood, people in the city know that they had at least 6 months, if not a year, to find this money. And they found it at the very last minute because they knew that people were going to be having actions. They knew that there were going to be protests. And they came up with that money at the very last minute. And they can take as much credit as they want, but it shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. This shelter should never have been lacking funds in the first place. They're not asking for much money. This is peanuts compared to the $18 million that they're spending on a TIF to luxury housing. So we won this fight, but we're also going to shut down that TIF to luxury housing. And we won this fight, but we're going to stop developers like Flats Chicago who are kicking people out of SROs. We won this fight, and we're going to keep winning. And we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to push back, because this community has been kicking butt for 50 years against gentrification and displacement. Apparently the establishment, and apparently the real estate industry haven't learned their lesson from Uptown, that we are going to fight, and that we are going to stop them from pushing people out like they do all over the place. There's no doubt that these cleanings are harassment under the viaducts, because the reason they're doing these cleanings every week or every bi-week during the middle of the winter is because they can't do what they were doing a year and a half ago, where they would just kick people out. They give people phony tickets for having a tent, which is a bogus charge, and really just moving people around and stuff. So now that we exposed the illegality of that, now they're using the cleanings as their other option of harassing the homeless, where people have their, as they brought up, they have people's stuff thrown away, people are forced to move. There's homeless people who work, they have to take off the whole day at work. So yes, there's homeless people who work, they just don't have a living wage to afford the rents that we have. I just wanted to clarify that point on the clean.